Hey guys, I'm just doing another video on PGM motherboards. I've had a few people ask about some different versions, etc, etc, so I thought I'd do another video at my workbench at home, just to give a little bit more information about more of the motherboard revisions and a few differences, etc. If you watched my first video, which I really recommend that you do, you would have seen that I did recommend to get a revision 9 or better PGM Mobo. So yeah, so this is a Rev 9. It's probably the first revision that I'd go for if you really had to, if you can't find anything else. From my first video, you will have learned that the Rev 14 is probably the best one to get, but there are more Rev 9s of any other version as far as I know. The Rev 5 comes close, but unfortunately it has the rechargeable battery, so it gets a lot of damage and doesn't work anymore. So yeah, so that's a pity about the Rev 5s. Anyway, this is Rev 9, so you got the caps in the right spot in the middle of the JAMA power in finger section, so that's good, so that's all good. So this is a Rev 9. Now the Rev 9s, they do have the revision number on the bottom, but it's in a different spot from the later models. I just wanted to point that out. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, but just over here you'll see there's a number which isn't 133, but it has -09. So that's how you can tell if that's a Rev 9 without taking off the red case, which was what I did last time, which I'll just do now. So yeah, so the Rev 9 came with a rechargeable battery. Let's put that over there. So as you can see, yeah, so you've got the, it's a bit hard to see. I have cleaned this one up a little bit, so you can't actually, the silk screen, for the rectangle silk screen for the rechargeable battery, you can't see it very well, but it's clearly not the coin cell one, which is like in the 14. The other good thing about this revision is, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show it very easily, but the cart connector, if you can see, it's a dual wipe. So for every pin, there's two connectors actually touching it, which makes a much more reliable game cartridge connection. The PGMs do suffer a lot from dirty carts and dirty cart connections. They're very picky on it, especially the older boards, which it's only a single wipe. You can have a lot of trouble. So yeah, so that's the Rev 9, guys. As you can see, there wasn't a lot of damage at all. I think I just desoldered the battery, gave it a quick clean, and that's that. So that's all good. So I'll just pop this guy away. Just line him up there. Chuck him in his anesthetic bag. Keep him happy. And we will move on to the next revision. So that was a 9. So I'll move on now to a 10. I'll try to do these in order if I possibly can. Now this is a Rev 10. This is also okay to get as well. If you can't source a 14, any of these ones are alright. They shouldn't have any battery damage, so that shouldn't be a problem. Now again, with the Rev 10s, this is where they changed to doing it up here on the bottom. I'm not sure if you can see that very well, but it says -10, and so that's the revision of the board. You don't have to take the case off to figure that out, which is really handy. May not be able to see it in all the photos like of an eBay auction, etc., but if you ask them to take a shot of the this section in the back corner, you'll be able to tell really easily. So again, it's got the cap in the right spot, which is just here in the middle of the JAMA finger. So I'll just pop this guy out. Now this board will also have the dual wipes on it for the cart connectors on it, and this one I've actually changed. There must have been something wrong with the cart connectors, because these are only single wipe and they're meant to be dual, so I must have changed it over for some reason. Again, you can see here's the square of the silk screen for the rechargeable battery. As you can see, there's no track damage. I've taken it off and gave it a quick clean, but it's all good. So that there, guys, that's it. That's a Rev 10. case. Right. Now we should move on to a REV 11. Yep, this is 11. This is a REV 11. Now, as you can see, again, the cap's in the right spot here, behind the Genoa power connector piece of it. So that's all good. So you're looking for the right one there. REV 10 will say 10. Sorry, REV 10. What did I say REV 10 for? It's a REV 11. The REV 11, it will actually say on that on the board there. You can see there's a dash 11, so you don't have to take this out of the board. Don't have to take the case off to be able to see that. I will pop it off just so you can see the battery. Again, this will be the factory. Yeah, here you go. Here's where someone's taken off the rechargeable battery and just popped a coin cell on. But there's no barrier diode or reverse diode or whatever you want to call it. So you should basically just take it off. Or just don't put a cell into it, because the motherboard will try to charge it up, and it can lead to leakage and the batteries will explode in worst cases. So it's very, very important. There was a little bit of damage from this one. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it very well there at all, but there's a little bit of damage on the tracks which I've just cleaned off. But again, still should work well. It's got the dual wipes for the cart connectors, so that's all good. So that there is the REV 11, guys. Pop him back in. Right, so he's all happy. Now this should be a REV 12. It is. So this is a REV 12. I think this one may have been in my first PGM buying guide. May have had the 12 in it. But I'm just recapping them anyway, just so that you actually, know what they are and what they look like. Again, it's a REV 12, so you've got your dash 12 on the back side piece there. Which hopefully you'll be able to see. Again, this had the rechargeable battery on it, but as you can see just down here, I've removed it, so it's not there anymore. You can see the rectangular outline, and as you can see, there's no track damage at all. I've just cleaned that up, desoldered it, and everybody's happy. So that's a REV 12. Now, so far, I've not found a REV 13 board. I don't know if a 13 exists. I have a funny feeling some manufacturers don't produce 13. Like Subaru, they don't make any of their cars 13. They skip it and go to 14 or go to 1.4 instead of using 1.3. So any of their serial numbers, there's never, the last two digits are never 13. Because they're a little bit superstitious, and a lot of car manufacturers actually do it. So I know Subaru does. I think a couple of the other Japanese Toyota might. But that's, so there may actually not be a REV 13 motherboard because of this. So this is a REV 14. This is what I recommend that you get. I don't know if there's a REV 15. I have a funny feeling this might be the last revision left. And this is the one that has the factory coin cell. So this is the guy to get. And you can see it. If I can get that to focus, you'll see that there's the silk screens are a round circle instead of the rectangular for the rechargeable battery. So this one's all good. You can keep it. You can put a battery in it, and it'll be fine because it's designed to have the cell in it. So that's a REV 14. It's got the dual wipes for the cartridge, which you'd expect. And yeah, obviously the cap's in the right spot there as well. So that's a REV 14. So that's basically it, guys. I just wanted to give a rundown of the REV 9 on newer. 14, forgot to mention on the bottom, obviously, like all the rest, has it just here. There's -14 there, so you don't actually have to take the red case off to actually tell what it is. So that's basically it, guys. I just wanted to run through those. A couple of the boards I hadn't actually shown anyone and people were asking about them, so I just want to do that. If you have any more questions or want more videos, please let me know. Thanks, guys.